Hi, good evening, everyone. Can someone confirm that I'm being heard?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you so much, Jalia. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's class. So, as usual, it's 5 o'clock, and we have just 62. We are supposed to be more than 100 in the class, and we have just 62. So, I'm going to give us 5 minutes break, not like break, to remind our other colleagues to join the class. And at exactly 5:05, the class is going to commence. So please let's reach out to them and let them know that class has started. Okay, so it's exactly 5:05 as promised. We're going to go ahead, but once again, good evening to everyone on the call. Welcome to today's class. And if you remember, yesterday we did justice to the executive, and today we are going to be looking at the local government level in Nigeria, the local government level in Nigeria, and our facilitator is in the class with us already. But as usual, before I introduce our facilitator or hand over the mic to our facilitator, I would briefly read his profile so we know who we're going to be conversing with before I hand over the mic to him. So our facilitator for today is Professor Abdul Hamidu Abdullahi. He's a distinguished academia in the Department of Local Government and Development Studies, Faculty of Administration, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. He's also a Board of Trustees, member of the International Association for Community Development with a seat at the United Nations. Beyond the classroom, Prof. Abdullahi is deeply engaged in community development and civil society work. He serves as the Deputy Coordinator of the Network Against Child Trafficking, Abuse, and Labor, NACTL, Kaduna State, and sits on the Board of Advisors of the National Association for Community Development. He's also the Chief Operating Officer of the National Initiative that provides leadership in advancing the rights and welfare of marginalized groups. A sought-after voice in public discourse. Professor Abdullahi regularly features as a commentator on radio and television, addressing critical issues of community development, youth and women employment, local governance, accountability, and conflict management. His contributions reflect a lifelong commitment to strengthening communities, empowering vulnerable populations, and promoting inclusive governance. So, with a warm round of applause, you can do that by using the emojis and use the chat box. Please let's welcome our facilitator for today, Professor Abdul Hamidu Abdullahi. Sir, you have the mic.
Thank you very much for that wonderful, what do I call it, introduction. I want to believe that, am I audible enough?
You're loud and clear, sir.
Thank you very much. I want to believe that all of us are ready, and as such, we are going to begin with a very little assignment. You have to be fast because the assignment is going to just take us up to maybe just 10 minutes. And the assignment is going to be already I've created the groups. So look out for your groups and then you now join the rooms. Lisa, you are going to open the rooms for them? I'll open it for them. Okay. Let me reduce the number itself so that it will not create any problem. Uh, so basically, what I want us to do is that group one, room 1 to 4, you have the same question. That is, name your local government. How you do that is your problem. Then, number 2, the second question for you is, what is the Supreme Court judgment on local government all about? Then group 9 to 12 have also almost a similar question. And then the question is going to be group 5 to 8, sorry. Group 5 to 8, name your local government and the implication of the Supreme Court judgment on local government. What is the implication? Then group 9 to 12, you also name your local government and then give us your solution to the local government at the Supreme Court judgments. So are we together? So look at the chart now. You see the question. So I will now tell you to join the group. Join your group, please. Quickly join your group. So, what What are these other people waiting for? They didn't join a group or they don't have a group?
I think most of them don't actually know how to join the group, and then some of them don't even know the questions.
So just go ahead and tell them how to join the group. The question is on the chat. Let me put it back again. We have 10 minutes and we are almost finished
I think a
exhausting the
lot
10
of
minutes.
people have not joined groups, so I don't know. Maybe we should close all the rooms so everybody comes back first.
Okay, then do it.
All right.
Quickly do it. I've given you you are the host now. You are one of the hosts, so do it.
And then there was no how they were shared, so people were just joining groups randomly. There was no specific group
It
for
was
any.
done randomly.
No, what I mean is that people were just choosing any group to join, so it was
Yes, it
not
was
really
deliberate. It was deliberate.
okay.
Yeah.
I think everyone is back anyway.
So go ahead and do the needful. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome back. We shall quickly tell you what you are expected to do. Obviously, we'll be forced to reduce our time because we have already spent so much time on this. So listen very well, and then maybe look at the chart. You will see the groupings there in the chart. You will see the question in the chart. Now, the questions are very simple. You can take the questions, yeah. Question room 1 to 4, you just name your local government, and then the second question is, what is the Supreme Court judgment on local government all about? Then room 5 to 8,
Um, Sorry to interrupt, sir. I
go
think they
ahead.
already shared in parties on their WhatsApp group, so maybe we'll just drop the question on the group for them, so they'll just attempt it and then come back to and then give you the feedback here instead of creating rooms here. They already have their groups. We have 5 groups already, so we can
Okay,
just drop
then
the
how are
question.
you going to split it? Because the questions are 3,
Okay, the
not
question
5.
are 3.
Yeah. And
Oh,
I'll prefer them to be here because from here they are more diversified than there.
okay,
Uh,
okay,
so
all right.
what you do is just uh, somebody should again put the question on the chat so that they can be able to see it. I hope everybody has seen the question. If you have seen the question, after the count of 1, 2, 3, yes, who is raising his hand up? Kennedy Teaser. What do you want to say? Quickly. Not on the call. Okay, peace. Go ahead. You want to say something or drop your hand, Kennedy, if you don't have anything to say. Okay. Now, Lisa, can you tell them to go to their groups? And quickly, they have just 5 minutes because the questions are very simple.
The groups have not been created. I can't see where to create it from
Ah,
here.
I,
I only
I
saw
created.
the close it, but not to create it.
Okay, so I have to recreate it again.
I guess so, so.
Okay, there are 170 something.
Yes, we have 100
One,
something.
okay, then let's make the group. That means we have to even increase the group, maybe to 15 groups. And then, okay, is it done now?
Yes. Okay,
So you
so
can,
everyone, just check your screen. You see join breakout room on the
so
left
you,
hand side. So just join any random room you want, and then you have a discussion on the questions.
You can just pick any question you want. Ajigu.
How many minutes do they have, Prof? How many more minutes do they have, Prof? Hello, sir, are you there?
Is everybody back?
No, should I close the rooms now?
Yeah, I've closed it. I don't know whether from my own end.
Oh, okay. All right.
I've closed the rooms.
All right.
Let's just give them some seconds to join. Ibrahim Mohammed, can you remove your toothpick? This is a class. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much, Ibrahim Mohammed, for enjoying yourself. Techno KL5. I hope you are cool. All right, so I hope everybody's back. They are not back here too. So Ibrahim Mohammed, I do want to start the presentation for your group or Techno KL5.
Okay, so for those that were in the breakout rooms, someone should volunteer to present, just very short. You just state your room and the question you attempted.
Okay, let's start from N.A. John. And her hand was up first. You just have 1 minute. N.A. John, go ahead. Tell us your group and then you.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Well, I would just we in my own group. I don't know. I was logged out. Like when you join, you just get logged out. I don't know if I'm the only one. So that's what I wanted to point out. But regardless, I stay in the FCT and I stay under AMAC local government. Okay, I'll just answer that. Thank you.
Thank you. Then Fasola, go ahead. Fasola, go ahead. If he's not ready, can we take Celestine?
I'm Fashola. I'm ready. I represent
Okay,
Group 4, Room 4.
Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Yes, Room 4. We choose. We are speaking from a Calabar municipal local government, and the implication of the Supreme Court judgment on local government is local government having their fund directly into an account that will be created by the local government, as against the joint allocation accounts previously being used for collecting their allocation, and affairs of the local government is going to be completely separated from the state interference, giving more impact of the local government to the grassroots for development and for administration. That is our conclusion at our own end in our room 4.
Good. So can we take Celestine? Celestine, are you around? Can you unmute Celestine? Roslyn Lazarus.
Okay, good evening, all.
Go ahead.
Okay, someone has actually spoken on behalf of my group.
Okay.
Okay, that's very good. So drop your hand then. Manessa, can you speak? Yeah.
Yes, I'm speaking for Group 2. Yes, I'm from Makodi local government here in Benue State. And the implication of the Supreme Court on the local government is to empower the local government, to make sure that the local government are able to stand on their own and to develop the grassroots. Because most of the time, the state may go down to the grassroots, but the people at the local government will reach the nook and crannies of those local government better than the state. So empowering them with the Supreme Court judgment gives them that right, that autonomous, that they will be able to do things and bring light to every environment of that local government. This is the reason why the Supreme Court judgment or the Supreme Court is backing up the local government for them to stand on their own. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Can we take Israel Gambo? Is he ready? Please be fast. We have the lecture to Israel Gambo. Are you ready? Okay, Ibrahim Umar.
Yes, sir. I'm ready, sir.
Okay,
I'm ready,
ahead.
sir.
You have just 1 minute, please.
Okay, I'm repeating Group 5, sir.
Go ahead.
One of the implications of the ruling, the judgment of the Supreme Court is it enhances the financial autonomy of the local government. And then number 2, we have it strengthens the political and administrative autonomy. And then number 3, it gives them the strength to govern by themselves. That's independence. And then to be accountable. That is to say that these third tier of government are very direct with the people as the grassroots among the other part of the tiers of government. That's it, sir.
Okay, that's very good. Can we take Ibrahim Umar? Can you? Ezekiel, get set. If Ibrahim Umar is not ready, Ezekiel, get set. Okay, Ezekiel, go ahead. Ola Dijo, Ola Dejo.
Hello, good
Yeah,
evening. Ibrahim.
yeah, why are you wasting our time now? You can't unmute yourself. Go
The mic,
ahead, please.
the mic. Okay, I'm representing Group 10. Good evening, everyone. So,
Yeah.
from local government, from Bauchi State to local government. So, the Supreme Court judgments, what we discussed, despite that is we joined lately in the group, the room. So, it gives us an accountability to the local government, those 1, 2, and it gives independency of the local government to be independent, more especially in the grant and financial aspect of the local government. So we support the Supreme Court judgment regarding the independency of the local government in terms of the financial, so that the local governments will stood up on it on to make some
Is
impact
Ezekiel ready?
within
Thank you,
the
thank you,
wards
thank you.
and the
Is
community.
Ezekiel ready?
Thank you.
Ezekiel, are you ready? Michael, go ahead. Michael, Uchechukwu. Michael, are you ready?
Good evening, sir. Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. Implications of the Supreme Court. I am representing Group 6, local government, Owerri municipal, and the Supreme Court helps to strengthen grassroots. When the grassroots are strengthened, the people are also strengthened as well. So the implication of Supreme Court strengthens grassroots. Another thing the Supreme Court helps to put in place is the financial stability, financial autonomy, to avoid financial hijacking of funds from maybe state government.
Thank you, thank you. So let's take the last two people. We can't take everybody, but let's take the last two people. Let's take Oluwaseun Afolabi and maybe Ishaku Daniel. Okay, Uthman will take you since you persist. So any of these three, quickly unmute yourself and talk. Yeah, go ahead.
Good evening, good evening, everyone. I'm representing Group 12. And you asked us the question, what's our local government that we're representing? I'm representing Obafemi Owode in Ogun State. And you asked us what's the solution to the Supreme Court judgment for the local government. Fine, we don't really, in our group, we're still deliberating on, we don't really understand what you mean by the solution, but what we concluded was, what do you think it can be done to hasten up the implementation of the Supreme Court judgment? Since the Supreme Court has given its rules, its judgment, and the executive arm of the government is to execute the judgment, we think what should be done now right away is that they should create an account for all local governments to have their money directly paid into it. But the challenge now is that, is it going to be an account with the CBN, or is it going to be an account with the commercial banks? The fact is that either way, all what we want is that the money should get to the local government. Even if it's into a microfinance bank, let the local government chairman be able to sign their money.
Thank you. Othman, okay, Siaku Daniel.
Yes, I'm from Group 12, and someone just spoke for Group 12, so I'll mute my microphone.
Drop your hand. Then Ishaku Daniel.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. I'm Ishaku Daniel, APC representing Group 8. I think the implication of the court ruling is that, number one, it will bring accountability closer. We'll be able to hold who is responsible for this and who is responsible for that. And the voice of the masses can be easily heard, reducing the channel of communication, because before you can communicate to the center or to the state government, it will take a while. But when you bring it down to the local government, sorry, I didn't mention my local government, that's local government in Bauchi State. And also, it will bring rapid development more than we are witnessing now. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Josiah, you are the last person. We replaced you because Uthman did not speak. Josiah, go ahead. Is Josiah unable to unmute himself? Okay, Joel, you have taken that
Yeah, speak up. We can hear you, but you're faint.
Okay, what of now?
He
Joel,
has
can you hear me?
muted himself. Who should we take, sir?
Joel,
No, this is
Uche.
Peace speaking. Who should we take? Okay.
Okay, Joel, Uche. Okay, he has even disappeared. Okay, then Lisa,
He has gone
can you
off.
share, please? All of you should drop your hands and then let's go to the main work at hand. Can you share the screen again? Share my slide. So you see this assignment we attempted. Am I audible enough, please? Am I audible enough? Can somebody
Yes,
answer?
sure.
Pardon?
Yes, you are, sir.
Oh, that's very good. That's very good. So please share the screen. Now share
Clear.
the slide. Okay, now what I'm just going to very brief so that I'll allow you time for us to discuss. Now, the essence of this work is for us to understand whether or not we know what local government is all about. And to what extent are we conversant with the most strategic and important judgment of the Supreme Court? And it is what is the most significant thing now in front of us in terms of local government administration. Now, I don't need to go to the nitty gritty of what local government is all about. You know local government. Lizzie, you are not being able to share this slide? Okay, so while she's trying to... Is it up? It's not up.
It come up soon, sir.
Okay, that's very good. So why thank you. Okay. So what we are saying is that next slide. We are going to do an overview of financial administration of the local government. Now, this very quotation is very important. When you see something that is wrong, no matter how big the problem is, you have to think. That's the first key to the question. And then, what else would like to change this? How can we work together? Who else would like to change this? So, any problem you see, anything you see that is wrong, then you have to think first. And then when you think about it, then who is also thinking like you? Then you work together with him. Next slide. Now, no doubt that a small group of thoughtful and committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that has ever happened. This is Margaret Mild. Now, what it is saying here is that, Mike, you don't look at the crowd, but look at the small committed individuals. They can now change the world. Go ahead, next slide. Now, this is the outline of the presentation. Go ahead, no problem. Now, this is the local government system. We just said the local government is recognized by the 1919 Constitution. The sections are there and the rest of them. Go ahead. Now, what we need to know about the local government in Nigeria, this is very, very important. The local government in Nigeria is the closest tier of government that is before it is a constitutionally established fact that the local government is the most important and the tier of government that is closest to the people, right? So by virtue of that dispensation, by virtue of that arrangement, the local government, you need to know that it exists primarily to provide services. And the Constitution has clearly stated the services that the local government is to execute. Now, the local government has to be responsible, responsive, and transparent in trying to provide those services. And that means it has to be accountable. So next slide. So basically, by that implication, it means that what is the nature of local government in Nigeria? We have two types of local government in Nigeria. That's my own division anyway. Not very. So we have rural local governments, a local government like DAS, or local government like Garko, or local government like Ekpe and the rest, or Ikorodu. They are semi-rural and the rest of them. So then we have urban local government. Now you look at this local government, all of them have almost the same characteristics. The rural local government has the problem of economic viability, poverty, banditry, kidnapping, settlement problem, unemployment, climate change, environmental issues, almost the same thing as the urban local government. They also have those problems. Next slide. So what is then the problem? The problem is that local government cannot be able to do what it is supposed to do because of the fact that they face some serious financial crisis. And that is the main focus of our lecture today. And the Supreme Court judgment is there in order to solve the problem of the financial crisis. Next slide. The Supreme Court is a judgment that was given on 11th July 2024. And that judgment ruled that it guarantees the financial and administrative autonomy of the local government. It declared unconstitutional to withhold funds allocated to the local government from the federation account or dissolve any local government council or appoint caretaker or sole administrators. That's just the main gist of the judgment. Now, but the most important thing is that it is done for the local government. And we are concerned, basically it is concerned about the financial management of the local government. So now we begin by asking ourselves, what are the sources of revenue of the local government? The sources are two, both external source and internal source. Next slide. The external source is the statutory allocation, while the internal source, as we shall see, is the whatever is being derived from the internal generated revenue. Now we have the statutory allocation, which is next slide. 20% of the 20% of the account from the federation should go to local government, right? Then the crude oil, excess proceed, additional allocation, and the rest. Then you also have the 10% of the state internal generated revenue, and then you have the 35% of the value add tax. All should be given to local government, but you are not on the right slide. I've moved higher than that. Are you having problem sharing? Okay, thank you. So I'm even on the, yeah, thank you. So the first thing is, when you talk of financial management at the local government level, the first thing is, what is the generation? What is the source of the finance? What is the rate that is being paid? And where? You see, these questions are the questions that are bedeviling the implementation of the the Supreme Court judgment. Because these questions, even if they bring the money down to the local government, these questions must be answered, because not just the external source, but also the internal source. Then who are the revenue collectors? And what is their powers and limitation? What is the method of collecting and accounting? What are the penalties for defaulters? Defaulters who did not pay, and then defaulting revenue collectors, and then what can you do about illegal collectors? Then who are the persons paying? But most importantly also, what is the purpose and justification for the revenue? And then who is the collecting and accounting authority? What are property rate and fees, as well as tenement rate? Who is going to fix it? Then how many of us, for example, has paid lesson on our local radio, television, and even bicycle in this 21st century, right? So you can see the generation include fines, next slide, include fines, market shops, and the rest of them, grants in view, outdoor advertisement, restaurant, revenue from, then I'm not seeing the slide. I've passed this level. You are not sharing the slide. Hello, am I with you? Can somebody answer whether I'm with you?
We can hear you, sir.
Oh, then let her share the slide. She has not shipped the slide. I've already passed this level. Then in terms of the internal revenue, we have also miscellaneous loans and grants. Then we also have what you may consider as then if you finish about that, then the next thing is the collection. You see, you have two or three levels. There's the generation aspect, then there is a collection aspect. Now, when you identify your source, then you now collect it. Then do we have adequate trained personnel? Do we have adequate all year round mobility of the revenue collectors? Are there adequate working materials? Are there proper guidelines on collection? Are there proper publicity and public information? What is the incentive for revenue collectors and revenue generation? Do we have uniform sanctions? Are there appropriate collection centers? So many questions that need to be asked, need to be answered. Why? Because in doing that, what you are doing is you are establishing a proper format for the rendition of returns on agreed time period. If not so, money will just disappear without knowing what is happening. Now, when you collect the money, then you have to manage the local government revenue. Then managing the local government revenue means that you have to determine the fiscal policies and priorities. That is a process in which programs and authorized appropriation can be done in order to implement what is being generated. But also after that, you have to ensure accountability that the funds are spent honestly and judiciously. And then you also have to provide required organizational structure and control to carry out the assigned duties and responsibility. But this management of local government is all under the orbit of the budget. And then the budget is basically a document that is meant to show you the issues you are going to tackle within a period of time, identifying the key variables to achieve certain policy objectives, which may and may not be very explicitly defined, policy, performance target, and the rest of them, right? But then there's also the issue of the second part of the budget, which is the control. That means that there should be institutionalization of administrative and structural measures to ensure that appropriate funds are spent according to set down rules, regulation, with the minimization of waste, checking dishonesty, and promotion of economy and effectiveness in the conduct of financial activities. Now, listen very carefully, because the key word is managing of the local government revenue. You can see why it is very difficult for the local government to, because all these conditions I've stated. That's why I asked you about your local government. Because the next question I'm going to ask you is all these conditions feasible in your own local government? Then the next thing is accountability, which is a system of ensuring proper stewardship of assets, which involves a legal and moral liability for ensuring that public funds are used for public ends and purposes, and the best value is obtained for the money spent. Now, in continuation of revenue management at the local government, individual officers are expected to know clearly that their duties, what their duties is all about, their responsibility within the framework of the local government administration. So if they don't know, then obviously they are going to be in trouble. Now, what is the institutional framework for revenue management in the local government? The institutional framework is just one. It's called Financial Memorandum, FM. Financial Memorandum. It is traditionally provided, it has a traditionally provided detailed guidelines and instructions on financial and accounting procedure to be followed in the administration of financial affairs of the local government, right? But in recent years, a number of supplementary documents have been raised, many of which have changed certain provisions of the FM. Now, the issue is, to what extent do most of people at the local government level know about the financial memorandum? Now, because of that, budgeting and accounting context of the financial management at the local government demands so many things. And briefly, we know that the budget is the most important aspect, the annual budget of the local government. How it is done is going to be very, very significant in terms of understanding the financial management at the local government level. Now, the budget is to provide a financial plan of action. That means estimate a statement of the objectives of the local government in financial terms for the financial year concerned. And in effect, the activities of the local government must be conducted within the framework prescribed by the estimate. So the local government is operating a different accounting system from the state and from the private sector and the federal government. Unless, and then there is also the supplementary estimate that is also usually given, just like we have supplementary budget. Now, we also need to provide legal authority for incurring expenditure. This is where some governors are hiding under the cover of trying to see that the local government, because they said they have to provide legal authority for incurring expenditure. And that is why the legal authority, as far as they are concerned, is the ensuring that there is adequate controls and maintain over expenditure and revenue, having established a financial framework for action. Now, you may say that this is not relevant, but it is very relevant because some years back, when the local government were given financial autonomy, because there was no control, adequate control, then in terms of expenditure and revenue, some of the local government took away all the local government money and absconded. So because of that, the accounting of the local government is directly related to heads and subhead of estimate. So when the amount spent under any subhead is given an indication of likely being to exceed the approved estimate, then the control arrangement must be in such that prompt steps are taken either to obtain a supplementary authorization or to obtain expenditure within the expenditure limited period provided in the approved estimate. So you can see this how the system of financial system exists at the local government. It is based on estimate of expenditure and revenue, and all of that subsumed into the financial memorandum with supplementary rules and regulation that the local government have. Now, the accounting system at the local government, the accounting framework, the accounting framework deals with collection, measurement, processing, communicating, control, accountability of receipt, expenditure, and related activities. Now, in order to achieve all of this, the financial objective of the local government has to be clearly stated, and it is one, to provide a management accounting to the council, its committees, and departments in order to facilitate reaching a prompt policy and management decision based on accurate and comparative financial information. So the financial accounting framework is meant to achieve that. So then we also have the auditing. You know what the auditing is all about, right? Then what are the expectations? Based on what I've said so far, the expectation is that the local government should be led by example. That is the accountability aspect. Then they must set clear expectation, set achievable goals, and then have frequent discussion. Then provide feedback and be considerate. Then they must create an environment of trust and maintain equilibrium and equity among the staffs. Now, if you are talking about accountability, you must also talk of transparency. So transparency is to break down the silos, break down all your jobs in pieces with delegation of authority and the rest of them, so that everybody will see what is happening. Then you now share learnings and then mistake, then show and tell result, then create communication channels, then invite questions and document every process. Now, these are areas that if you are going to do, for example, advocacy at the local government level, then these are some of the areas you are expected to ask questions. Are we showing any result? Do we have clear communication channels? Are you inviting questions? Do you document every process, right? Then we also have what is called physical sustainability, right? Sustainability, you know, is to balance the planet, the people, and the profit in order to produce success and viability in the long term. What this means is that everything has to be done in such a way that fiscal sustainability is the use of simple set of tools to analyze government budget and debt position and to lead to conclusion. So we need financial fiscal policy for sustainability at the local government level. And that means that it has a 5 basic principles. There's a population control and manage, then the conservation of the ecosystem or the environment, then the conservation of the biodiversity of the planet, then sustainable development of the society, and the conservation of human resources. All these are meant to be the key cardinal principles that will make sustainability in terms of either financial or social responsibility of the local government. So in conclusion, we stated that the local government have to operate within the ambit of the law, right? But it must also be able to set in principles, policies, plans, and the rest of them that will make financial resources is being used judiciously. And then there must be also a system of managing finances of the local government based on what is understood as a very good judicial responsibility of the local government, so that everybody is taken along for the local government and the rest of them. Now, so in conclusion, the officials of the local government should do their best to resuscitate public confidence in the local government. Presently, people don't have confidence in the local government system. And you all know the reason why, because they are not performing. So there must be something to be done so that local government can give people confidence. And as of now, the integrity and the credibility of the country's local government system is at its lowest ebb, due to the inability of the local government officials to shoulder public trust. Now, you may say there are a lot of reasons affecting that, and one of those reasons is because they don't have, me personally, I'll tell you that the local government don't have the capacity to do some of those things. Thank you very much. I will now return you back to Lizzie, who will now tell us what is the next line of action. Are you there? Hello.
Thank you so much, sir. Peace, are you on?
Yeah, I'm around.
Okay, thank you, Professor. Thank you so much for this amazing lecture. Your lectures are always so insightful. Thank you, sir. Now it's time for questions. I think the prof is available for questions. So if you have any question, please raise your hand. And if you don't want to speak, you can put it in the chat. We'll be checking. So first we have Aliu Al-Qasim. I've asked you to unmute. Go ahead, please.
Good evening. Thank you so much, Prof, for the lecture. My question, I have dropped it on the chat box. However, let me just read it out. What are the roles of local government, the councillors at the one level, and then also what is the role of the ward in local government system? Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. The role of the local government generally is service delivery, and it has been captured by the Constitution clearly, showing you some of the statutory role of the local government. But I must say, but in Nigeria, some of these roles have been hijacked based on the constitutional arrangement of what local government is all about. Because the constitutional arrangement states that local government exists as a tier of government, but then it is all that is going to execute will have to be based on the assembly the state assembly rubber stamping what the local government has to do. So it now depends upon what the financial autonomy is trying to do, is that it's trying to give you the ability to harness your resources into one place, and then you now be able to defend what you have in front of the assembly, because they are just robbing. For example, what you can, the good example I'm giving you is when the traffic man, last man, catch you on on a traffic offense, and it gives you a temporary relief. I hope you understand. It gives you a temporary relief, so that after some time you have to do the major assignment that it's meant for it to do. So what the Supreme Court judgment did is to just give them a sense of belonging, but in the actual sense, certain sections of the Constitution must be amended, such as that section that talks about if you remove the joint local government account, still you have the problem of that aspect that all your assignment has to be channeled back to a committee between the local government and the state government. And that is why the Ministry of Local Government must remain as it is, and then the Local Government Service Commission must remain as it is. So because of that, you can see there is still a long way to go. That fight will have to continue again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof.
Thank you.
From the chat box, he's saying, does this autonomy include electoral process?
The autonomy does not include electoral process. So that is why I say a lot of things have to be fought for again, because there is no electoral process, and then there is no, for example, the local government cannot employ anybody. It has to be done by the state government either through the Ministry of Local Government, or through the, if it is junior staff, through the Local Government Service Commission. So you see, we are back to square one again. Because one of the things that to make the local government function very well, you can see all these processes I mentioned in terms of financial dealings. It has to be having some caliber of skill level, right? So if you don't have the skill level, then you cannot be able to achieve the expected result. And that is why we are still where we are.
Okay, thank you, sir. Esther Folashade Abiodun is asking, how do we deal with local government accountability? How do we hold them accountable for them to do the work they are meant to do in their various local governments? And also, how do we curtail the absence of state government imposing and putting people they want in order to control the local government chairman?
Peace. Thank you very much.
Did you get?
That's the lacuna that we are having. But for example, in Kaduna State, in which I'm also a board member of the Kaduna State Local Government Accountability Mechanism, the government entered an agreement. That is what we shall also campaign for all the states in Nigeria, to enter an agreement with over the open government partnership, wherein it now makes it mandatory for local government to be listening to what their people are saying. So you have to have some openness in your dealings with even the state and the local government. So in terms of Kaduna State, we have what is called technical working groups. Right, the technical working groups is that the open government partnership, right, and there's the civil society organizations are on one side, then the government also is on the other side, then the local government on the other side. We all come together as partners, not as enemies this time around. As partners, then we do what is called, we insist on having town hall meetings in order to discuss the budget. We insist on having assessment of the budget, and then we now insist that every ward we now have to produce what is called, we have to show what are their needs that can be included in the budget, and when it is not included, we now follow up, and when it is included, we now follow up to see whether there are releases. And where there are no releases, we try to find out the reason why there are no releases, and then from there we continue. So we keep on rolling over what is there. Gradually, we are making a little impact. Though you see the why the impact is not so much felt is because of those constitutional areas that makes it mandatory that, for example, now in Nigeria, we have the Freedom of Information Bill that has been signed many years ago. But you can't move to any local government and say, what is the budget of the local government? What is the releases? Or go to Minister of Finance and say, what are the releases that have been done to the local government? What is the performance of the budget? You can see the recent crisis between the Arise correspondent and the Minister of Works. Now, the Arise correspondent has the right to ask, what is the cost per kilometer of the road being constructed? Because you borrowed money, and this money are taxpayers' money that is going to be paid. But now the minister is dodging away, and then people are trying to turn it into a kind of caricature or a kind of tribal or insult or lack of obedience and the rest of them. So it is the same thing happening all over. So it means that we have to keep on struggling to see that the right thing is done by all the tiers of government in Nigeria. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Ibrahim Umar, you can unmute and ask your question. But before then, if you dropped your question in the chat box and I didn't take it, please resend it again. I think I have a challenge from my end.
Okay.
Ibrahim, go ahead.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good evening, Prof. Thank you very much for your
evening. How are
presentation.
you?
Fine, sir. My own question is regarding how can we differentiate between rural and urban LGS as you categorize it in the presentation slides that you did? That's my number one question. Then number two is the internal and external revenue in the local government. You made mention that there is internal and external revenue of the LGA. So which one is the responsibility of the local government to collect or to generate, and which one is for state and which one is for the federal government? Because we had some crisis during I'm from Bauchi State, but the crisis in Rivers when they put that sole administrator. One of the reasons I had that they are saying is that the current governor, that's Fubara, that is trying to stop some mining, because I'm a geologist, so some mining things that the federal government generate more revenue from that, and is in a particular local government in Rivers. So they put some as part of the reason why they put the sole administration. So when you made mention this external and internal revenue generated in the local government, so which one is the responsibility of the state government to generate? Which one is the federal government? Which one is the local government to generate? Thank you very much, Prof.
Thank you very much. It is clearly stated in the Constitution. It is clearly stated in the Constitution, right? Wherein it says the federation account, right, have a definite share for the local government and have a definite share for the state government, right? And have a definite share for the federal government, right? These are considered as external, right, revenue. Then the internal revenue generated, right, all over Nigeria is being absorbed. That means it's being collected. Most states, it is the state government that is collecting those revenue on behalf of the local government. And for example, a very good internal affair, a very good external revenue is the VAT, value added tax, which is not being remitted. Usually the federal government will remit it to the state, and then the state government is supposed to remit it to the local government. But rest assured, the local government don't see anything. Then there's also the statutory 10% that's supposed to be given by the state to the local government in order to augment what they are doing. Then they are not doing it. Then constitutionally, the local government is a tier of government by itself. So it has the responsibility of also collecting loans. How we get me? Collecting loans,
Yes,
and the rest of them, and grants, right? But it cannot process this because at one level, it doesn't have the capacity. As of now, there is almost no local government in Nigeria that has a website. So if, for example, my my NGO wants to give a grant to a local government, it cannot do it because the local government don't have a website to confirm who is the chairman and the rest of them. Something very that I can guarantee that if I give you my money will not be used anyhow. So we have also that problem, right? So you can see how complicated the issue of the local government is. Mostly, I don't like to blame the local government for everything because at the same time, I also don't like to blame the state government for everything because the capacity, it is, as far as I'm concerned, my personal opinion, please, the capacity of the local government is made irrelevant because of the fact that if it is relevant, then there will be two captains in the same ship. I don't want to tell you that there's a discussion with the chairman of a local government, and he said, see, the Speaker of the House of Reps is performing very better. So his performance has dominated my own performance. So me, I don't have any problem. Some of the aspect I'm supposed to do, he's doing it. So don't ask me anything. Go to the Speaker. Please, off record. Right? So because of that, he's not performing. Right? Now, are you telling me that when you see a masquerade dancing by the roadside, don't you know where the drummers are? So we all know where the problem is. So if you allow the local government to perform very well, then there's a likelihood that the governor will not be able to control the local government for subsequent election. And that is why in Nigeria, the last election of local government did not take place. It's just a sham. And then most of them they only put their own kids or their own boys at the realm of affair who will dance to their tune rather than getting credible people that will insist on the law being followed. So you can see at the same time, that is why as I'm speaking to you now, the federal government gave instruction that all the local governments must open an account with the central bank. But rest assured, if you ask the central bank now, you realize that up to now, some local government has not opened an account. So how can they remit? But do they have the right to open the account? They have to pass through the state government. So the permission to open that account has to come from the state government because they are to guarantee them that this is a legally recognized local government area in my state. So you can see it is what you can call a chicken and egg argument. Which one comes first? So the issue is that the chicken cannot claim to be better than the egg, and the egg cannot claim to be better than the chicken because at least the chicken is already out. That's the governor, and the egg is just trying to become something else, and then to maybe hatch itself and then produce something. But if it produces and overtake the chicken, then there's going to be a problem. I hope I just sarcastically answer your question.
So the rural and urban LGS,
yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, you see, I categorize the urban and rural local government because there is also another lacuna. There's also another lacuna. Take, for example, Kaduna town. Take, for example, Kano. Take, for example, Lagos. Now, if you take Kano, is the capital of Kano State. But then inside Kano, we have almost 5 local government. We have Taroni, we have Kano Municipal, we have this, all of them within the jurisdiction of the capital. Now, the implication of that is that where is the jurisdiction of the governor and where is the jurisdiction of the local government chairman? So if you take my state, Kaduna State, for example, there are certain aspects that are supposed to be done by services that are supposed to be rendered by the governor in the state, and then there are certain aspects that are supposed to be rendered by the local government chairman. But at times the governor will go ahead and do it and claim credit for it, and then the local government chairman will have to sit down, right? So that lacuna is there. But what I'm saying is that if you are going to talk about, there are some local governments that, for example, we have example with Lagos State. The taxation in Lagos State differs between one local government and the other. Lagos State government categorized the local government into rural, then semi-rural, then urban, semi-urban. So in that case, somebody who is, for example, staying in Yaba, he's staying in the urban area. So the taxation that he's supposed to pay should be higher than somebody who is staying in Agboda, Ekosi, or maybe on the road to Shagamu, right? So you can see that's where we have rural and urban local government. For example, in Kaduna State, you have Soba local government. Now it's a rural local government. You can't compare the revenue you are going to generate there to the Zaria or Sabongari that have factories and the rest of them. You have international school, you have banks who are paying tax and the rest of them. So these are the why I showed you. But generally, they are also facing the same problem of development. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Olua Sheyi Afolabi, unmute and ask your question.
Hello, good evening. Thank you, Prof. My name is Oluwaseyi.
Good evening.
Yes,
Go
sir.
ahead, please.
All right, sir. Sir, I want to ask, in this 21st century, internal generated allocation for local government, when the constitution still have bicycle, canoes, wheelbarrows, and some rural market as means of generating income for local government, radio license and maybe TV. How can local government even increase their local government, their own internally generated revenue with these petty things that has been constitutionally written? That's my number one question, sir. Two, how can you ask us this question in our group 12, that what is the solution now there's a Supreme Court judgment that have not been implemented? What is it, at least you from an insider or from an expert, from your expert opinion, what do you think is the problem? Why is this law judgment not being implemented to the latter? Because by now we're supposed to have seen, is it account opening that is the problem? Is it bureaucratic bottleneck that is the challenge? So I just want you to answer to this question, sir. Thank you so much.
All right, you have answered the question. You have answered the question, and I've also answered the question earlier. I told you that you can't have two captains in the same ship. You can't have two captains in the same ship. That is why immediately after the Supreme Court judgment, the governors were given an ultimatum. They rushed to the president and told him to give them a moratorium of 6 months. And the president kindly gave them the moratorium of 6 months because he also wants to be re-elected. So he cannot joke with, he knows what the governors can also do when it comes to election. I hope you understand. So the issue now is tied down to we as people, can we do the necessary advocacy using as much organ as possible to draw it to the local government that there is need, not because, Michael, I'm not even concerned about the local government chairman, because as far as I'm concerned, the local government chairman is just a servant, right? He cannot do anything on his own. He has to get orders from the top. So our advocacy is supposed to start from the Ministry of Local Government to Local Government Service Commission to members of the legislators. Every local government has members. Every local government has representatives. So those are the people that we're supposed to now go ahead and talk to them. And every House of Assembly has oversight function from the what? From the House oversight function that's been executed by the legislators in that local government. So you can see all these are some of the issues that has to be tackled. Go ahead. I hope.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for that. So we have a question in the chat box from Jessica. Yes, from Jessica Agom. How applicable is the Supreme Court's judgment on local government autonomy when the Constitution has not been amended to that regards, does that judgment still have relevance? Did you hear me, sir? Can anyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. I think he has gone off.
Oh, okay. So sorry, please. Let's just give a moment for him to join us. Okay, he's back. Welcome back, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, thank you for unmuting me. Thank you. My battery run down, so I have to now close. I have to use my handset. There's no light around. We're in a rural local government.
Okay, sorry for the
We are not in Abuja like you, Lizzie. So you see the question is a loaded question. But what I used to tell everybody is that as an expert in local government, I said, when somebody take a step in a journey is an achievement. The Supreme Court judgment is an achievement, a very big achievement for that matter. Now we have to build on that achievement of the Supreme Court judgment. That is why I took pain to give you the nitty-gritty of financial management at the local government level. Then I asked a very simple question. Do we have the capacity, the skill level that to operate this system that is the ideal? Do we have the capacity to the skill level that would translate the subhead estimate of the revenue and expenditure of the local government? No. Why? Because the salary of a local government staff is lower than that of having the same qualification, is lower than that of somebody employed at the state level. And the state salary is lower than that of somebody who's employed at the federal government level. And most states in Nigeria, I think almost 20 states or so, have not been able to implement even the minimum wage up to now. And I said this is deliberate, because they are just meant to emasculate the local government, because you can't have what you call skilled labor that will leave where he's working to come and serve at the local government with such a small amount of money, where his service is needed more in other places. So we conducted a mini research, and we realized that some of the local government have not gotten somebody who has a PhD, either as an administrator or as an accounting officer or something of that nature. And you see, we are in changing times. We must agree with ourselves that the times have changed. The lower quality, the skill level will have to be needed in order to implement some of these rules. So what I'm invariably saying is that we have two problems at stake: the implementation of the Supreme Court judgment and the amendment of the Constitution to suit in the Supreme Court judgment, and at the same time, the problem of capacity and capability of the staff at the local government level that can implement this issue. And you see, Michael, some state governors are trying to even retrench some of the local government staff because they feel they are a liability for them. Because whatever they can do, the state apparatus can also do it for the governors. So you can see these are some of the lacunas that we are having that is really affecting the operation of the local government. So it is now, I'm appealing to all of you, when you go back to your places, that's when you in your village, ask, do you have any PhD holder in your local government? Do you have maybe a quantity surveyor, or maybe a chartered accountant at the local government level? How many of them, and the rest of them? Or do you have a member of ICANN or ANAN, or do you have a member of Nigerian Management Institute and the rest of them at the local government level? And how many are they that can be able to implement some of these areas that we are talking about? Thank you.
Okay, sir. So we have another question from Doreen Nerut. She's saying, is it within the LG's jurisdiction to construct roads? What is the extent of projects the LGs can and should carry out?
Thank you very much. Quickly. You see, the roads in Nigeria are divided into trunk A, trunk B, and trunk C, and even D. So if you have now, immediately we finish talking, if you have Google, every one of us must have Google Map on his handset. Try the Google Map and see. It will tell you that trying to get to a destination. It will tell you that move to A, so. And then when you navigate another road, it tell you B, so. When you navigate another road, it will tell you C, so. Depending upon the road you are. So it is clearly stated in the Nigerian Constitution and other laws of the land. There are roads that are meant, all the roads that transpasses from one state to the other are federal government roads. Then all the roads that are joining one local government to the other are state government roads. Mike, you remember what I said? For example, a road that start from my village, Zaria, that goes to Kano, goes to Abuja, that express road is a federal government road because it is connecting various states, right? But then the road that starts from where I'm staying inside the township is the township road, is the responsibility of the state. And then the inner roads are meant for the local government. Some of the inner roads are meant for the local government. But mind you, it's very difficult, for example, for local government to construct road because they have to get the mandate from the state government. And if they get that mandate and do the road very well, the credit goes to who? It goes to the chairman of the local government. And then if the chairman is so popular, more than the state governor, then what are you going to say? Will that be feasible? Can somebody come who is your boy to come and overshadow you when the election is around the corner? So that's the human aspect again we are talking about. Thank you. Dorcas, go ahead. Please, sorry.
Okay, thank you, sir. So LP, I don't know, Saula, please unmute and ask your question.
Okay, good evening, Prof.
Go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Yeah.
Thank you, thank you.
Prof, I just want to take us back a little bit to the question asked by Oluwaseyi the other time. He did mention about the constitutional duties of the local government, which also include taxing bicycle, trucks, and other available items that can generate revenue for the local government. Now, my question is this, sir. Can the local government, since they have the legislative house where bylaws are being made, because I was engaged in an argument in a certain local government where an Okada union, the local government legislator is trying to do a bill, come up with a bill that they can tax Okada riders to ensure that they generate revenue into the local government purse. But the argument from the Okada rider is this, that they are not included in the items that are supposed to be taxed at the local government level, because there's a place there that said non-motorized item, that is the truck, the bicycle, like being mentioned by Oluwaseyi the other time. So, Prof, I want you to clarify, does the local government, the local legislator, do they have the power to come up with a bylaw to tax Okada rider, because they are not being stated in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria?
Very simple.
Thank you.
Very simple. Is to go back to the local government. That is why I'm telling you about the capacity. I'm happy that you've raised this question. That is why I'm telling you about the capacity of the local government legislators, that's the councillors, is to go back to their chamber and sit down and bring an act. Legislate an act that we are now going to tax Okada riders and make it a law. Then it becomes a law. Anybody who is not satisfied will take it to court. I hope you understand. Because they have the right, the local government legislative council have the right to make laws. And they cannot argue on the fact that is why even some local government don't even have a lawyer. That's another problem again. So if they want to do that, they have to hire a lawyer who will now do it for them. So they have to now do that law and then pass it. And if they pass it, if anybody has any grudges, they can go to the state assembly, because you as an individual has the right to give a personal bill to their state assembly so that it can be a law. So they can go as a local government. They are under a union. They have ALGON, that's Association of Local Government Chairman. They can go under that and then make the law generally within themselves in the state and then pass it to their state assembly. They can pass it at their local level and each local government council, and then they can also take it to the state assembly so that the state assembly would also make it a law so that they can be able to tax all those vehicles. But Michael, the problem there is that, for example, you now know the problem of the National Union of Road Transport Owners. You can see how powerful they are, especially in Lagos, Ibadan, and the rest of them. Some of them are as rich as a governor because of what they are collecting. So you are now trying to reduce. You are not trying to reduce what they are getting. As individual, everybody is selfish. So nobody will sit down. Corruption will fight you back when you are trying to check corruption. So nobody will sit down and allow you to just do whatever you want to do, and he will fold his hand. And that's exactly what is happening. But obviously, it is also based on the capacity that they don't have. Had it been they have the capacity, they will have known that it is very easy for them to get this thing handled. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Akintoye, you can unmute and ask your question. Okay, if Akintoye is not there, let's have. Okay, go ahead, Akintoye. Yes.
I just want to, good evening, everyone. I'm John. I just want to ask a question. Is regarding the local government issue that is currently happening in Osun State. I want to ask, what does the federal government has the capacity to do what they are currently doing? They are withholding the money that is meant for the local government. And in the recent event, they made the payments of the local government fund to a separate account, which is for the former local government chairman. And it wasn't remitted to the one of the present local government chairman. So I want to ask, is it constitutionally right, or is there a breach?
Thank you very much again. I want you to understand that during the time of when the present president, His Excellency Tinubu was the governor of Lagos State, the similar thing happened. Obasanjo will held his local government allocation, and then after a lot of battle up to the Supreme Court, he won, right? So it is not left for the Osun State government also to also take the matter to the Supreme Court, take it to all the courts, and then up to the final court of the land. Because most of these things, you see, you can't rule political undertone into the issue. And you know, the former governor, Aregbosola, was the boy of Tinubu, but he did not, he's no more on the same platform with his master. And he's also partly controlling Osun State. So issues like that happen, and it's a test of power between who can win the day. So it is obviously something that we should also try and understand that everywhere there's political undertone in certain things that is happening, right? You can see what Soweru did about Mweke, but nobody, if it were in another country in the world, when you say a minister has these foreign things and then unaccountable for, he will honorably resign. But in Nigerian case, nobody is talking about it and nobody is, that's why I like Nigeria, because even the former UN Secretary General, Bitrus Gali, he was asked, he's an Egyptian man, and he was asked, if you drop as the Secretary General of the United Nations, where will you want to stay? He said, Nigeria. And then they asked, why Nigeria? I said, Nigeria is a very good country because nothing is happening and nothing is going to happen. So you can see, nothing is happening and nothing is going to happen. So if you don't get up to struggle for what you want, nobody is going to give you on a platter of gold, because we are operating a crude capitalist system that is against all the rules that is expected. Take another very good example. The government has not paid university lecturers 4 months' salary, but it is insisting that they should take a loan. Where in the world do you see this thing happening? Somebody is owing you money. You have not paid him his money, and you are telling him that, hey, my friend, come, I'll give you loan. Is that sounding very sensible? So, but it is Nigeria. Anything can happen. Yes, thank you very much. I just did an illustration.
Okay, thank you, sir, for that. Adedikba, you can unmute and ask your question.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Professor. My question is very straightforward. This budget at the local government level, who generates it, or which agencies participate in generation? That's firstly. Then secondly, who endorses it? And thirdly, how often is the budget done at the local government level?
The local government is just like any other tier of government, federal and state, right? So the cycle of the budget is supposed to be the same thing, but that of the local government is a bit different because the cycle of the budget is also following the same pattern with the state government and federal government. There's always a call circular and the rest of them, all the process of budgeting. But then, in terms of the local government, they are supposed to be in a state that are implementing open government partnership relationship. They have to now do what is called town hall meeting. Town hall meeting is meant to look at what is in the previous budget, what has been implemented and what has not been implemented, what is being carried over, and the rest of them, right? So when you do that, obviously it is where they have to go and defend the budget at the Ministry of Local Government and Ministry of Local Government. It is there that the chairman and the director of finance or whoever, depending upon the state, and the budget people at the local government, we have to go there and defend the budget. So indirectly, the budget is also tied to the budget of the state, indirectly. Mark the word I said, indirectly, tied to the budget of the state. So if the revenue we are talking about will have to be also in tandem with the revenue of the local of the state, because there are certain statutory expenditure that the local government has to have to fund from its own side. For example, it has to take care of the primary school teachers. It has to take care of the public primary health centers and the rest of them. So based on that, deductions are made from source. And then there's also extraordinary expenditure that is being incurred by the local government, extrajudicial, we call it extrajudicial expenditure that is being incurred by the local government. Take, for example, if the wife of the governor is visiting your local government, you have to make provision for her whatever refreshment and the rest of them. And maybe if you are in a state like Sokoto, Katsina, and the rest of them, maybe you have to also make provision for maybe 2 or 3 cows that the governor's wife will have to take along with. So all those are extrajudicial expenditure. And then you also have to take care of the police and the other security apparatus in your local government, legally including the NYC, but they are not doing it. Most local governments don't do it. So all these are finally approved at the local government and the state government meeting in terms of the budget allocation. Thank you very much. Is anybody with me? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Okay, thank you, sir. So we have We have another question from Ishaku Daniel in the chat box. He's saying finance is very important in administration of services at the local government level. So my question is, what effective means can be used to generate internal revenue for the local government, since mining of solid minerals are still under the exclusive list of federal government, and taxation of wheelbarrow pushers and bike men cannot lead and sustain development?
There is a tenement rent, there is a property rent clearly stated in the constitution for the local government. But what I want you to understand is that that's also another fight for another day, because all those tenement rate, all those what you can call juicy taxes had already been hijacked by the state government. They are the ones that are handling it. For example, in Kaduna State, all those taxes are handled by Kaduna State Internal Revenue Board. All this, even now, as I'm talking to you in Kaduna State, these Okada riders are paying. They are paying. So it is just left for, you see, the other state. I would just advise you, you see, Kano State, Kaduna State, and the rest of them went to Lagos State to learn how the taxation is done in that state. And now they come back and then they now started implementing the taxation. So other states will have to have a synergy. And mark you, there are local governments that are sharing border with other local governments in other states in the country. So there also, there has to be, for example, now, if you take in Nasarawa State, the last local government there is Sanga local government with Kaduna State, in Kaduna State with Akwanga local government. Now there are certain markets that are in Akwanga local government, but majority of people who patronize those markets are from Kaduna State. And then there are certain markets that are in Kaduna State. The most people that patronize it are from Nasarawa State. So there is also that need to harmonize such a. That is why we are also saying that we are insisting that there should not be any multiple taxation. The government should not encourage multiple taxation. You don't pay a tax, for example, people who are carrying cattle to the cattle to the south and southwest, southeast, and the rest of them always have this problem. When they cross Benue State, when they are about to cross Benue State, they pay a tax. When they are about to cross Plateau State, they pay a tax. When they are about to cross Enugu State, they pay tax. Up to reaching to Port Harcourt. That's multiple taxation. But then, how can you say they are wrong when already every government wants to get a revenue? So at the end of the day, that taxation is transferred back to the end user. So whoever is eating meat, you are not just eating the price of the meat alone, you are also eating the taxation that you pay for all those meat you are eating. So you can see that's the situation. And that is why some of us are suggesting that if you want to have a very good local government system, then you should also talk about the taxation at the local government level and the multiple taxation, and then you don't have to do it individual state and the rest of. No, it has to be a collective issue so that all the local governments can be able to come in and state their various problems and then how it can be solved. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof. Okay, we're going to take Adamu Bello Bako. I've asked you to unmute. Go ahead, please.
Kaga wanda yake saya tare daga birni good evening good evening Prof.
Thank you. Good evening.
Can you hear me, sir?
People near you to keep quiet now.
Go ahead. To really comment.
I'm happy the people near you can
away from the people. So I said I want to sincerely appreciate and thank you for this insightful lecture this evening. The knowledge given today is really an eye opener, and we really look forward to engaging with you in a further discussion so that we'll be able to know how to engage with the local government chairman and other administrators in the local government. I want to say thank you for the knowledge shared this evening. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. I'm available. I'm available. My paper, you have my phone
Sorry,
number
sir.
there.
I don't know if it's okay, sir. We're going to contact you from there, and then we'll know how we engage further, sir.
If you check the chat, you see my WhatsApp number there. If you check the chat, you see my WhatsApp number.
Okay. All right. You can contact Prof directly. Get the WhatsApp number before the group closes, before the Zoom closes. Saifullah Waziri. I've asked you to unmute. Are you speaking? We can't hear you. Is it just me? Prof, can you hear the person?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I cannot hear the person talking.
Okay.
Okay,
All
can
right.
you hear me? I'm speaking.
Okay,
All right.
go ahead.
All right, Prof, thank you very much, sir. I want to ask and throw more light as regard the collection of states, that the example you made with Kaduna Internal Revenue Service. Sometimes in some states, what they do to collect the revenues that local government used to collect is they draft an MOU with the local government where the chairman will sign as what they tagged harmonization of collection. And I think they do that mostly to increase the state's revenue collection based on the percentage or the formula of the FAC allocation. So by law, since there's an MOU, so it does not appear as if they are bridging the power of the local government when it comes to collection. But some states, there are still issues. Some of the local government want to opt out of that, but because of the power and the lack of full autonomy up till now that is going on in the local government and the lack of capacity you highlighted, I think it's what is also contributing to that. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for that contribution. Any other contribution?
Okay, let's go with Ambassador Sa Abubakar. I've asked you to unmute.
Okay, good evening, sir. Thank you, sir, for this insightful knowledge about local government. But, sir, I don't know what's your take on what I'm going to say. Before, around 2004 to like 2010, local government were so doing so good. They can construct roads, schools, and so many other mega projects like that. But now, whenever we are discussing with some people about the local government authority, some are claiming that local government are corrupt people. So I was wondering, how can local government be corrupt? While back then, they are also using the money to construct roads, schools. Like in Kano State, in my local government, my chairman during that time, he built around like 20 secondary schools and he constructs many roads. And I saw that too in southern Nigeria, like in Oyo, Ogun, because I stay there for a while. But now, whenever we say local government should have an autonomy of their own money, people are saying local government are corrupt, they cannot be utilizing the resources well. But in the other hand, if you look at the issue of insecurity, that minor project that local government were able to execute is what is lowering the insecurity in the state. But now, as the autonomy has been hijacked by the government, such kind of minor projects are not there. But still people are saying local government are corrupt. For me, if local government are corrupt and they are doing such kind of project during that time, I think they should be corrupt to do such kind of project. Because as of now, you will see the local government receive, like Nasarawa local government, from 2003, I think June to April 2025, at least they received 13 billion naira as their own local government share from the federal government. But when you go to Nasarawa local, you will hardly see the 500 or 200 million project in the entire Nasarawa local. So I was wondering, before it was good, and still people are complaining that the local government are corrupt. Why now the money is not given to local government and still the money is filed in no place? But I don't know how your take on this issue. Thank you very much for this insightful lecture.
You have already answered the question. You have already explained everything. The local government can be categorized as corrupt by those who want to say it is corrupt. But at the same time, I'm also saying that the rope that is tied around the neck of the local government makes it almost impossible for them to function, because any expenditure that is being attempted to be done by the local government has to have the sanction, the approval of the state government before the releases can be made to the local government. So it depends. Okay, secondly, again, it depends upon the proactive nature of the chairman of the local government and his councillors. What is the capacity of, what capacity do they have, right? But if you look around, you realize that most of the local government chairmen are just yes men. They cannot initiate any project. And instead of them to assign that work of initiating project, when you don't know something, you learn it, you commission a consultant to do it for you. And it is as good as you doing it yourself. Most of you here are well-to-do, you are very rich millionaires and the rest of them, but you want to enhance your political capacity by coming to polyliteracy. So what is wrong, right? In Hausa we said, Durkusama wada ba gajiya bane. When you bend down to greet a dwarf, you are not, it's not an insult. I hope you understand. So when you go to look for capacity, I gave you a very simple assignment. Check all in Nigeria and tell me which local government has a website. So if somebody, for example, somebody from Kano State who is making a lot of money in Sweden and he wants to contribute to Nasara local government in Kano, and he said, please, who is the chairman of Nasara local government in Kano? I want to have his contact, but I want to have something very reliable. The only reliable way is to get the website. Through the website, he can be able to see the location of the local government, so that even if you send somebody, you just use Google Map without asking anybody, you go straight to the local government. But when that thing is not existing, then how can you have probity and accountability? And all of that is being done deliberately so that you cannot be able to go and ask for information. Believe me now, if you go to any local government and say you want to have the staff list, what is the staff record of the staff of the local government? It's going to be a very big problem for you. And it is the same thing with almost all institutions that are related to government. It's quite unfortunate. In spite of the Freedom of Information Bill that has been signed many years ago, you cannot get certain information from the local government. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. I'm saying, okay, if your question has been answered, please lower your hand. Thank you. Erogene Prosper, you can go ahead with your question. Are you still okay? Go ahead.
Prof, thanks for this opportunity. This is Prosper from Delta State. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, my question is, how do we know the functions, the duties of the local government, and how do we differentiate them from the duties of the state government? What are they supposed to do? What are the local government supposed to do for the citizens, and what are the state governments supposed to do for the citizens, so that we know who to hold accountable for which? Thank you very much, Prof.
And that is even the question I'm going to ask you too, because even me, I'm finding it difficult to differentiate what the state government is supposed to do and what the local government is supposed to do. Because in the fourth schedule of the 1999 Constitution amended, it clearly stated the role of the local government. But when you try to find out, are they performing this road? One of the major role of the local government is for them to have internal revenue, for them to perform certain duties. But this internal revenue is being usurped, is being taken over by state government. So if it is taken over by state government, then what can they do? So it means that they have to go cap in hand to the state government to give them money. And that money they are going to give is tied down to a particular project that the state government wants them to execute. Not really that they want, not really that it is a primary responsibility of them. It is the primary responsibility of them to do, execute that project. But then in the actual sense, it has to be approved by the government. So that is the lacuna. That's the problem we are facing. So that is why I said there has to be, we have to raise up and then do some advocacy in our literacy on finding out which, for example, doing a case study of maybe one local government in a state to find out in this year, for example, 2025, what project was executed by the local government, and then what project is being executed by the state government, right? So you cannot be able to differentiate, and then you can now don't go and ask for the financial this thing, a kilometer unit cost per kilometer, because you are going to get into trouble. Because you see, legally, every contract supposed to be followed by a bill of quantities, but that bill of quantity is only the contractor and the person that approved the contract that have access to the bill of quantity. Because the bill of quantity that will give you the details of the contract. So if you go asking about the bill of quantity, you are looking for trouble, and it will cost you, it may cost you what you don't want to know, right? So that is the situation on ground. It's all it's your responsibility and my responsibility, because we are all Nigerians. And you see, this is even more serious, especially those in the riverine area. In the riverine area, the governors hide under the fact that there is too much water and the rest of them, but agriculture is part of the responsibility of the local government. And in that case, the agriculture in the riverine area is fishing. I hope you can see the argument. It's fishing. So what are they doing about the issue of fishing at the local government level? I hope you understand. So these are some of the issues that really we are having. We have to now know that we are in trouble. And then, if the youth, for example, can take up responsibility of asking the right question, Mike, you don't ask a bill of quantity, right? And then don't consider your local government chairman as your enemy. He's not your enemy, but consider him as a partner in progress. Right? So if he's a partner in progress, then you are going there to assist him to do his work. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. iPhone and user, it's please, you have been told to change your name, your Zoom name, to the name you registered with, because if attendance is being taken today, you will be absent because the Zoom attendance will not correlate with the admission list. So please change your name, okay, so that your attendance can be recorded. All right, iPhone, whoever you are, please, you can unmute and ask a question. Is that a hello, iPhone? Okay, let's go with Victor at
All right, good
Dawe.
evening. Thank you for this
All right.
opportunity. My name is Kunle Lawa, and I'm calling from Abuja. Thank you, Prof, for the insightful class session with you. My question is just on the same local government, right? And the fact that there is so much autonomy at the central. Are there functions that can actually be devoluted from the central to the state government and then down to the local government from your mind, sir? We know there's so much concentration of power, so much concentration, right? Are there functions that can actually be devoluted down to the states and then to the state government, to the local government. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. You see, as far as I'm concerned, if you read the Constitution clearly states the functions of every organ of government. I hope you know, every tier of government, the Constitution has clearly stated its role. And that role, right, is very unambiguous. It is clearly stated. But the issue is that that's why people who are clamoring for the Constitution to be changed, to be modified, I just laugh at them because there is nothing wrong with the Constitution, but rather the people implementing the Constitution are the ones that are wrong. So obviously there should be no glamour for that. We should now find a way of adjusting the Constitution so that some roles can be given to this. No, the roles are there clearly stated. This is the federal government is the first, then the state government, then the local government, and each one of them has its own specific role it's supposed to execute. So obviously there is no room for fighting over anything. Rather, what is happening is that we don't have the political will. I hope you understand. We don't have the political will of trying to now implement whatever it is that is supposed to be implemented. That is why we're having a lot of problems. Even also, we wouldn't have had any problem at all. So unless and until we begin to accept that the political will has to be there, then we are not likely to make any headway in the journey of nationhood. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. We will take one more question. Prof has already dropped his number in the chat. Please copy it before class ends so that you can contact him directly. That's a rare privilege, so use it judiciously. All right, user, you'll be our last question for today. User, I hope you change your name after this. Please go ahead. Hello, are you still on the call? Okay, then let's make the last question. Maharaz Karaye. I've asked you to
Hello.
unmute.
All right, hello, thank you. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, Prof, and thank you very much for this insightful session. Really learned a lot from it. So I have two questions. My first question is, what role should community participation and the traditional institution plays in strengthening the local government governance? Because we all know that if we are talking about local government, traditional rulers should also be involved. So, and we all know that they are powerless. So, how can we have that? How can it improve the local government governance? And my next question is about how can digital transformation and e-governance to improve the local government service delivery? Because we all know that, as you have been mentioned about the website. So, for instance, how can we what strategies will you implement for that to be effective? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I like your questions. What I want to tell you, first of all, is that one, the traditional rulers, the traditional institution are recognized in the Constitution as advisors. They provide advisory role. So they don't have any constitutional duty that is different from advisors. So they are advising at the local government level, right? So at the local government level, some of them are the big ones are the ones that they are members of the security committee. They participate in the security committee meeting, either monthly or as it may deem fit for them to participate, right? So based on that submission, the traditional rulers are primarily under the chairman of the local government. The Oba of Lagos is under the chairman of Lagos Island, chairman of the local government. But because of the nature of status in Nigeria, and because of the nature of local governments in Nigeria, wherein somebody who is very poor can now become a local government chairman because he's the son of his godfather insists he should be. So he cannot be able to now stand before the Oba of Lagos, who is a retired Assistant Inspector General of Police, who has more experience than him. So this is some of the ironies of of governance we are having in Nigeria, and because of that, he cannot be able to state certain things. He cannot be able to state certain things to the Oba because the Oba is more experienced than him, more exposed than him, and more financially stable than him. So that becomes an issue that is worth looking into again. But then, back to your question, the basic role of the traditional rulers is advisory. That's their role. But they are very important because they can also do and undo because of their financial muscles. And then the charisma they command in the community, right? And as such, it is at times suicidal for any chairman of a local government to think that he can have a problem with them. So he has to have the backing of the government before he can be able to do anything. But then, Mike, when you advise, it is not compulsory for me. When you advise me, it's not compulsory for me to take your advice. So that's another area again. So traditional rulers are just advisors. Then in coming to the issue of the local government and ICT and the rest of them, information technology and the rest of them, that's why I told you, most local government, I don't know whether Nasra local government has a website, but I don't think so. So obviously, these are some of the issues that are bedeviling or they are very critical to the issue of local government in Nigeria. Alhamdulillah. Sorry, not lecture. So you see, those are some of the issues at stake that it is very difficult for them to contribute meaningfully, and even you yourself to contribute meaningfully. For example, I did a little survey of some staff of the local government. I was asking them, please, do you have email? They were asking me, what is email? What is email? In this 21st century, a PA of a chairman of a local government doesn't know what is email. Then if a mail is sent to that local government, that means the local government don't even have an email in the first place. Because if the local government has an email, you'll be the first person to see the email before the chairman can see the email. So you see, these are some of the issues. So it's the issues are very complex. That it is not only one direction. Issues are when you talk about this side, you also talk about this side. Just like how someone would say, if Bera the Sata, the Dharma and the Wadi, Lizzie, what I'm saying is that the women were complaining that rats are chopping the food in the house. And then somebody now say, if the rats are chopping the food in the house, stealing the food in the house, also the food must have been rotten. And then, so that is why the rat could be able to fish out the food and then start eating it. So that's the issue at stake. So unless all of us come together as a collective responsibility, we must all come together as a collectivity and then do the needful. It is only then and then that we can be able to have a very good local government system in Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof. Thank you for your time. Thank you for downloading. And this is actually a very sad issue. Imagine something as common as an email that is free. Nigeria will be great. It's really sad. It's really sad.
So that's why. So we are dealing with those at the local government level. We just hear what is happening, and then when you blame the governor, and then I say, do you blame the governor because, for example, the last governor, El-Rufai in Kaduna State, he was operating on his tablet. He was operating on his tablet. And you know, the governor before El-Rufai gave local government staff opportunity to have computers.
Yeah.
And then they sold the day they gave those computers to the senior and management staff of the local government. That very day, they sold them. Some sold them out.
No. Oh
Because they
no.
don't know what to use it for. So you can see we are really, that is why at times I even blame the Attorney General for putting the cart before the horse, because there are more issues that should be handled first before uniting. And that is why the governors also seize that opportunity to do whatever they are doing, because they know that when they want to implement these things, it's not a reality, and it's going to be a very big problem. So they just
Yes.
so a lot of issues like that, and then I just hope that maybe the initiative. That is why I said it's a collective initiative. All of us must put our hands on deck, do a lot of advocacy at the local government level, at the state government level, at the traditional rulers level. We also have to talk to stakeholders at the retired stakeholders who are very paramount in the local government and the rest of them, because some of them are security, some of them are members of the security committee at the local government level. So we have to do all those advocacy before we can be able to reach somewhere. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you so much. For the students, remember to change your name, please. It is extremely important, and you know your certificate depends on you having 80% attendance. So the first day was waived because of the Zoom capacity issue, but from yesterday it was resolved and your attendance is being recorded automatically. It's automated on Zoom, okay? So please change your name for your own good, please. And also your party groups, endeavor to join your groups. Don't join any group, any party group where your name is not reflected. If anyone is caught in two groups, I'm told that you will be disqualified and maybe kicked out of the cohort. So please find your party, your pseudo party, and join, because assignments might be dropping this week. Thank you very much. And thank you, Prof, once again. We really appreciate you for your time. We will see you again next weekend. Make it on time to class, please. Make it on time to class. Class starts at 5 on the dot. So have a lovely weekend, everyone, or have a lovely week ahead. Prof, you have host function. Please, you can end the class. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, members of the polyliteracy cohort 2025. Please, you have to be up and doing so that you can be able to earn the certificate. And you can see that the discussion is very lively. So it shows you that we have a long way to go in this country unless we do the needful. So please, let's us put our hands on deck and then see that we do the needful, and then we can now have a successful country for all of us. Thank you very much, and God bless you all. Thank you.